as one can imagine, the term glorious revolution was invented by the advocates of this development. There were those who felt it wasn't very glorious at all. But you had this highly unlikely event. The stadtholder of the Netherlands, the son-in-law of King James I, and his nephew as well, assembles secretly in the Netherlands an army of 25,000 men. A fleet of 500 ships sails across the English Channel. Simultaneously, he's causing to be printed and smuggled into England 50,000 copies of a pamphlet explaining why he is coming over. This army advances. King James's army flees and disperses. The king flees England. And William calls for a parliament, which then declares him king, and his wife Mary queen. So many things could have gone wrong. Crossing the English Channel in November is not high on the advice list of potential military conquerors. I mean, D-Day was in June, and the 1066 William the Conqueror was earlier in the season as well.
He had problems.
And the it was quite an audacious event. It could have gone wrong in so many ways. There were not too many shots fired in England. There were a few, but this revolution was rather bloodier in Scotland and Ireland, where there was a battle between King James and King William, the Battle of the Boyne, in which a bullet whizzed by King William's head. A few inches, a few feet different, and a lot of history would be very different. But William's forces won that battle and set the trajectory of Irish history for the next 300 years, not altogether to the good. But it was highly unlikely, and it had these terrific consequences. I mean, William's purpose was not really to guarantee the liberties of Englishmen or to do much of anything for England. What his purpose was to enlist England in the fight against what he considered to be the tyrannical, expansionist power of King Louis XIV's France. France at that time had 4 times as many people as England. It had 10 times as many people as the Netherlands. It was a huge monster power with an expansionist army, and William, as the ruler of the Netherlands, felt very vulnerable to it. France had invaded there in 1672 and overrun most of the country, threatened to do so again. And so he wanted England in this war. And in order to get it, he had to establish himself as king, it turned out, and to recognize the rights of Parliament. He understood that in order to raise the money for a war, to raise the army and the military forces, he had to get the consent of the English.